The deadly story about the 1986 K2 disaster where mountain climbing went wrong. Prepare for an emotional roller coaster as we delve into the depths of the 1986 K2 catastrophe, a story etched in the annals of mountaineering history. Join us as we unravel the harrowing saga of triumph and tragedy, where the human spirit clashes with nature's merciless fury on the roof of the world. Scaling the roof of the world, unveiling the 1986 K2 catastrophe. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we reveal the heart-wrenching tale of resilience and sacrifice amidst nature's unforgiving wrath. Unleash the hero within, defying the odds on K2's treacherous slopes. Prepare for an awe-inspiring exploration of human spirit, pushed to its limits. This isn't just a story, it's a call to responsible adventure and the power of perseverance. Experience the summit shadows, unmasking the legacy of the 1986 K2 tragedy. Join us on an extraordinary journey of redemption and reflection. Let the echoes of the past guide us toward a future where passion and safety walk hand in hand. And step into the unknown. Brace yourself for a captivating tale that leaves you breathless and ignites your thirst for adventure. Together we'll honor the fallen and embrace the lessons etched in K2's icy slopes. Get ready to hear the harrowing tale of this 1986 K2 disaster, but first, let's paint a picture of where it all took place. K2, also known as Mount Godwin-Austen, is the second highest peak on the planet, standing at an awe-inspiring 28,251 feet. This colossal mountain is nestled within the Karakoram Range, straddling the border between Pakistan and China. K2 is notorious for its treacherous and fickle weather conditions, which can shift from clear skies to blizzards with howling winds in the blink of an eye, creating a perilous environment for climbers. Its steep, icy slopes and razor-sharp ridges have made it one of the most technically challenging mountains to climb, with only the most skilled and experienced mountaineers daring to attempt its summit. Due to its unforgiving nature, K2 has earned the moniker Savage Mountain. Shockingly, the fatality rate for climbers trying to reach its summit is nearly 25%, making it significantly more deadly than Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain. The 1986 K2 disaster was a catastrophic event that unfolded when a group of 13 climbers from the United States, Great Britain, and New Zealand attempted to scale the peak. This calamity resulted in the death of 11 climbers, earning it a spot on the list of the deadliest mountaineering accidents in history. The story of the 1986 K2 disaster is a grim reminder of the inherent hazards of mountaineering, particularly on peaks like K2 where the odds of success are slim and the consequences of failure are dire. However, despite the risks, climbers continue to push themselves to the limit and take on this breathtaking yet perilous mountain, driven by their unyielding desire to conquer the impossible. In 1986, a group of 13 climbers from the United States, Great Britain, and New Zealand, and Australia embarked on a challenging journey to conquer K2, with Jim Wickwire leading the team. Some of the climbers, such as Alan Rouse, had already achieved their summiting dreams on Everest. The team underwent weeks of acclimatizing to the extreme weather and high altitude of the Karakoram Range in preparation for the climb. They also took great care to strategize their route and pack essential supplies, including food, tents, and oxygen tanks. However, climbing K2 poses significant challenges, even for experienced climbers. The mountain's steep slopes and unstable terrain present challenges for navigation, while the unpredictable weather, including sudden storms and high winds, can turn deadly in a blink of an eye. Despite these obstacles, the team persevered and made steady progress up the mountain, reaching the upper slopes of K2. Yet they faced severe hurdles along the way, including deep snow, icy conditions, and technical problems with the climbing gear. The climbers were faced with the daunting task of scaling the peak and had to contend with the adverse effects of altitude sickness, including weariness, headaches, and queasiness, which made the ascent even more treacherous. August 4th, 1986 marked a turning point for the team of climbers attempting to summit K2. They were close to reaching the peak when a sudden and violent storm trapped them on the mountain. When a storm hit, the climbers were unable to proceed with their ascent or descend to safety, leaving them stranded on the mountain in sub-zero temperatures and hurricane-strength winds for multiple days. Huddled together in their tents, they quickly ran out of vital resources such as food, water, and fuel, causing their physical and mental states to deteriorate rapidly. The team made a series of decisions in desperation, some attempting to descend on their own while others stayed behind to wait for rescue. Sadly, the consequences of these decisions were fatal for some members of the team, including Alan Rouse and Julie Tulis, who couldn't survive the harsh conditions. However, the efforts of those who survived and the rescue operations launched to save them are noteworthy. Pakistani climbers and military personnel risked their lives to rescue the stranded climbers. The consequences of the K2 disaster were significant, impacting not only the families of the victims, but also the mountaineering community as a whole. The loss of colleagues and friends was mourned, and the tragedy led to significant changes in mountain climbing practices. These changes include increased safety measures, better weather forecasting, and improved communication equipment. The 1986 K2 disaster serves as a reminder of the dangers of mountain climbing and the importance of taking safety measures seriously. It is a tribute to those who lost their lives and those who put their own lives at risk to save others. We should appreciate the risks and challenges of mountaineering while respecting the dangers it poses and ensure responsible and safe mountain climbing practices. The climbing community and families of the victims were deeply affected by the 1986 K2 disaster, which claimed the lives of respected climbers. This tragedy sparked a widespread conversation about the risks and benefits of high-altitude climbing. After the K2 disaster, the mountaineering community identified several lessons that needed to be learned, including the cruciality and criticality of safety measures and effective communication on the mountain. One of the most critical lessons was the need for improved weather forecasting to help climbers avoid dangerous conditions. As a result, significant advancements have been made in weather forecasting technology such as satellite imaging and high-altitude weather stations. These improvements have enabled climbers to anticipate weather patterns better and avoid perilous situations. Communication has also been recognized as a crucial element in climbing safety. The 1986 K2 disaster highlighted the need for climbers to stay in touch with one another and the outside world, which was challenging due to the harsh conditions. Nowadays, climbers are required to carry communication devices such as radios or satellite phones to help them maintain contact with their team and rescue personnel. The climbing community has also implemented several safety measures and best practices in the years since the disaster. These include using advanced climbing equipment, establishing fixed ropes in camps, and utilizing supplemental oxygen to aid climbers in acclimating to high altitudes. The 1986 K2 disaster was a tragic event that claimed the lives of many experienced climbers. However, the lessons learned from this catastrophe have significantly improved mountain climbing practices and safety measures. Today, the climbing community prioritizes safety and training to ensure that climbers can enjoy the thrill of high-altitude climbing without undue risk. It is important to acknowledge that mountaineering is not inherently reckless or irresponsible. With proper training, preparedness, and safety measures, climbers can appreciate the joys of high-altitude climbing while reducing the risks. As viewers, we can appreciate the hazards and challenges of mountaineering while also respecting its dangers. We can endorse responsible and safe mountain climbing practices by learning from past experiences and prioritizing safety in all aspects of climbing. Whether you are an experienced climber or just an interested observer, adopting responsible and safe mountain climbing practices is essential. This includes undergoing proper training, adhering to established safety protocols, and staying informed about weather conditions and potential hazards on the mountain.